Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. So today I actually wanted to make a video on a really popular question that actually comes up in the twin flame dynamic, and that is, when does the masculine energy actually awaken in this connection? Now remember that I actually prefer to use masculine energy and feminine energy versus divine masculine and divine feminine, just because the genders don't actually matter here. You could actually be a male and be the feminine energy in the twin flame dynamic, which basically just means you are the more intuitive twin and the one that's responsible for doing and leading the inner work on this journey so that union can actually take place. So this video is dedicated to, when does the masculine energy actually begin to awaken in the twin flame dynamic? Now, while every twin flame story is rather unique, there is one core blueprint that applies to almost every twin flame connection, and that is that the feminine energy in this connection represents the light, the one who is able to overcome the challenges, the one who is more intuitive of the two. And there is the masculine energy that has the more deeper and darker wounds, most often, tied to betrayal in love, abandonment issues, and emotional suppression. And so what we see here is that these two act as polar opposites, unable to really come together until they do their healing work and really reach unity consciousness. Now, this actually leaves the masculine energy with one core belief based on what they've experienced in life, and that is that true love doesn't exist and that unconditional love doesn't exist. Now, they really cling to this belief of theirs up until they actually run into the feminine energy in the connection. Once that happens, they begin to run simply because the feminine energy makes them feel things that they are not yet ready to experience. And really, it goes against everything they've kind of lived and believed in their life. So really what they do is basically run from this connection, and there is a lot of work that needs to be done by the feminine energy in order to make this union happen. Now, to answer the question as to when the masculine energy actually begins to awaken to this connection, well, the answer to that is, it's really up to the feminine energy to really heal those three lower chakras and reach the heart chakra. When the feminine energy actually begins to really heal her own heart chakra, this is then reflecting in the masculine energy that has their deepest wounds tied to their heart chakra. So essentially, when the feminine energy begins to clear their heart chakra, you begin to see that reflect in the masculine energy. Now, you may ask, why specifically the heart chakra? Well, particularly because it actually deals with love. It is when the feminine energy actually clears her heart chakra that the masculine energy begins to start awakening to the connection. Why? Because they actually start to feel again. Prior to this, their wounding has left them basically hurt to a point where they are numb. And so they have past and previous experiences with just experiencing very superficial kind of love. In fact, when they kind of meet the feminine energy, they almost disregard that connection, knowing that, this can't actually be true. It's probably just another infatuation. But the truth is, they haven't felt love like that before. And it's not that they don't experience feelings prior to you healing the heart chakra. They do, but they dismiss it because they are aware of the damage it can do based on their previous experiences. So they are not ready to deal with it. They want to stay in that numb phase and not really feel. However, once you heal the heart chakra, and they're forced to do the same with the Kundalini awakening through them, then they really come to realize what this connection is. Now, I'm not saying that the journey ends here. I'm saying that this is actually when they become very clear about what they are experiencing and what they're feeling is actually true love. Now, the one key thing that's so important for the feminine energy to understand in this connection is that it's not that your heart chakra is healed. In fact, you may have wounding tied to your heart chakra that you actually may be unaware of. It could be previous lifetimes. It could be, when you were really young and maybe don't really have memory of it, but it doesn't mean that it probably doesn't exist. It does, and it needs to be healed. Whether you know about it or not, it doesn't matter. Do you have to know what it was? No, that doesn't matter either. What really just matters is you doing the inner work. As long as you don't unlock your heart chakra, that will not reflect in the masculine energy. And again, this is all going to be done through your inner work, and that is what you kind of have to keep up with on this journey in order for union to really take place. Now you may ask, well, how do I actually heal my heart chakra? Well, of course, you are just going to do meditation, which is going to help you rise up in terms of your states of consciousness, and also Kundalini will be helping you along the way. However, the other key thing on this journey that is crucial for you is to step into your purpose. And this is why you do not want to wait for your masculine energy to really step into your divine purpose and mission. And the reason for that is that once you go through an ego death, your purpose becomes to rebuild your life in a way that you can actually find joy, find fulfillment. And as you do more of what you love, guess what? You begin to become that vibration of joy, of love, and that is helping you really unlock your heart chakra and heal your heart chakra, which will then energetically pass on to your masculine energy. That is why we say that as you step into your divine purpose and that is revealed to you, make sure that it is something that you would love to do and it is something that brings you joy. So as you look into that and, step into that vibration, you will become that frequency of love, which will really be helpful to you on your journey and really just help energetically pull in the masculine energy. Remember that this journey is not about when the masculine energy or the divine masculine will awaken. This journey is about you stepping into your own power, going through your own healing journey, coming into inner union with your own self, and then awakening to your purpose. And as you do that, union is bound to happen, but that should not be the core focus of your journey. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope this was helpful. God bless.